The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is the man who really likes playing Candy Crush. Welcome, Jacob.
Just don't line me up with yellow again, dude.
But you'll just end up in the special candy jar.
One would hope.
One really does hope.
Why, thank you. And let me introduce our co-host, a man who is meh about today's episode. Welcome, Drew.
I don't know if I'm meh about today's episode. I think I'm more like, I don't know, is there a suffering emoji? Maybe, I don't know. Bad thing is I actually know nothing about emojis because I never use them. I still use emoticons. Now, Facebook and other places change them into emojis.
Yeah.
But I still physically type them out.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's just my weirdness.
I gotcha.
So yeah, today we are starting Bad Movie Month. And we're starting with a doozy.
Yes. And apparently it's only going to get doozier from there.
Yeah, because this is the one that people might actually like.
Yeah.
And not for the ironic, look at this horrible movie reasons.
Yes.
Because this one actually had money and was in a theater. Today we're reviewing the Emoji Movie. Which, words escape me. And not because I want to type with pictures. Modern day hieroglyphics. But anyway, Jacob, how are you doing?
Man, I am doing very well. I have been off for the last 6 days from work. For
Lucky dog.
Yes, I completely agreed. I'm very blessed in that regard.
I only had 4 days off.
Let's see. I had vacation from last Thursday to today.
Nice.
So we're going to work tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow is your Monday.
Yeah, tomorrow is my Monday. And we had an interesting weekend. Let's say that.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yeah, we had a great weekend. Me and
only about 5 minutes of terror.
Yeah,
followed by some worrisome until you finally got back.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there when we get there.
Yes.
So we went on a retreat with our singles group at our church, and we went to a small town in the Dallas area.
Actually, we were in Dallas technically.
Okay, we were in technical.
I'm just saying, every time we got back to the area, we passed a sign that said, "You are now entering Dallas."
Okay, Penelope.
Penelope
from Tanged. The keeper of the spire.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Penelope Pitstop from Wacky Races. I drove better than that.
Oh, yes, you did. Completely agreed. So we go to this little town, little suburb of Dallas. Let's be more technical.
We went to the hood.
Yep. I don't want to say we went to the hood.
I am not the person who came up with that. So
that is true. That was true. So we,
to some degree,
we went to this Airbnb in a not the most luxurious neighborhood in that division of Dallas.
No, it wasn't.
No. Hey, at least there was no violence. There was no nothing.
True.
We didn't hear anything from neighbors. It was nice and pleasant.
I never felt in danger.
Yeah.
Well, not from people.
From roosters.
No, even the roosters were fine.
The neighbors
when we
had roosters.
Walked in though, my sinuses closed.
Oh my gosh! So let me explain this whole situation. So we did an Airbnb without viewing.
No one
it
went
first.
to check it first.
No, we didn't go to check it first.
I was a little worried when I got the address and I looked it up on Google Maps and thought that doesn't exactly look like that's not as good a neighborhood as we had last year. I'll say it that way.
True. So we walk into this house. It looks like a severely modified, like 1930s, 1940s Sears Roebuck house.
Yeah.
That you would
if you didn't know, you used to be able to buy houses in the Sears and Roebuck catalog.
Yeah, way back in the day.
They came and installed them, or you could actually build them, I think.
Yeah.
But either way, you could tell it was one of those.
Yeah. So
and then they built an addition on it.
Yeah, quite a few additions. So like we get there and we open the door and it's just apparently there had been like I don't know what it was. I want to say maybe they had a
My best guess.
Yeah.
My best guess is
what's your guess?
2 weeks prior to us going on this trip,
Mhm.
the summer heat wave finally broke.
Yeah.
And the entire area got pretty much all the rain we normally get in a summer in one day. And we do know that there were at least places around that area that flooded.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that part of that house was flooded at least.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. And they had gotten it cleaned up just enough so we could come in there.
Yeah.
And that's why they had all those humidity air freshener things that smell good. People were addicted to Febreze.
Yeah, this was bad. And being someone who's asthmatic and just be like that just hit me over the head. It was bad. So we stayed there for 3 days.
3 nights.
3 nights. We stayed there for 3 nights. We had a great Bible study. We went to we did some shopping here and there. Got to hang out with my amazing girlfriend. Thanks, Ashley. Let's see. Me and you went and saw a movie, but we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. We left Dallas.
We went to Rockwall because everyone wanted to go to Costco.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Then we ate it at a Mexican restaurant called Rose's.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
They wanted to charge you more for chips and salsa, which I understand because those were homemade chips.
Yeah. That's why I didn't order any.
That's true.
I knew I was going to have plenty of tortillas from the 2 people who were buying stuff with tortillas who don't eat gluten.
So, we had a great time, great studies. Ashley and a really dear friend of ours, Carrie, did the studies. Really good time. So we go to leave. We get up early, make sure the house is nice and clean, give our assessments.
Yes.
Miss Wendy, who is the leader of the group, sent a nice reply to the owners.
We were honest.
We were honest in opinion,
but we did not just trash the thing.
Yeah. So, and then we stopped in an IHOP, and then we drove back to our place of residence.
Yes.
Back to the church, and let's just say the return trip was interesting, and
it wasn't that crazy.
No, but I did forget one thing. We were coming back from Costco's.
I was about to say you skipped
the most dramatic
part of the entire weekend.
Yeah, so yeah, my apologies. So we're taking 2 vehicles. We have Drew and a bunch of other people in one vehicle. I'm with my girlfriend Ashley, her mother, and another person in that group.
Yes.
So
another person.
Wonderful person.
Yes. We won't get into it.
Yes, we won't get into it. Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart. So we're coming back from the Costco, and we're going over this bridge, which will lead into the town of.
It goes into, I think. I also don't remember which.
Yeah, but either way,
we were passing the Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, we're basically
that's right there. I think that's Garland. Do not quote me.
Yeah, somewhere on Garland. So the storm picks up. Be like, you're getting wind and rain.
Oh yeah,
and we're just about to get off the bridge, and Ashley's driving her car. So then all of a sudden, because there's road construction everywhere.
Yes,
and
they are building up they're building 2 new bridges going across that lake.
Mm-hmm. And so then okay, let's just hang in there. And all of a sudden, this large chunk of plywood comes up from the water's edge, which I'm assuming it was probably laying against the embankment, and the wind picked it up.
Had to have.
Yeah. And so it flew through there, right in front of our car, then smashed into our car.
Turning it into a pirate.
Yeah, turning into a pirate.
One-eyed.
Yeah, literally taking out the left
it was the driver's side
light
headlights.
Yeah, the headlight, the bezel of the whole bit. Just drove it in there. That was exhilarating and frightening at the exact same time because Ashley was driving.
Yeah.
So
imagine it was.
Yeah. And a certain someone, bless her heart, kept telling me, like, you need to pull over. You need to pull over. We're working on it.
This was the same one that said, Drew, on the way up when it was raining cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Kept saying, Drew, you need to pull over. The water's too wet. And I'm looking at my watch. We're 10 minutes from where we're going. The rain is not that bad.
Yeah. That was a good restaurant, by the way.
Yes.
That was a really, really good restaurant. So we pull over, custody damage. Ashley gets hold of her auto insurance and, files the claim and, is going to get the vehicle fixed, I think, at the end of this week. And I drove back. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Thankfully, it wasn't that too far of a drive. We get there, and it's very thankful we have the rest of our compadres, our friends, compadres, group, teammates, whatever. They were praying for us, which was very grateful for that because that was hair raising. So yeah, that was a very enjoyable hair raising weekend.
Yes,
and yeah. So let's see. Today I was off, so that makes 6 days off, which was a lot of fun. So I guarantee I'm probably going to get a little flack from that from some people at work.
Probably.
No, probably. Be jelly. Just be very jelly on that. But other than that, it's been a very interesting week so far. So how's your week been, Drew?
Well,
since I've described
you pretty much described the whole thing. Let me put it from my point of view. That little story.
Yeah,
we got off a little faster than y'all from the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think we were a little farther ahead of the wind because the wind did not really hit us until we were getting ready to take the 635 Mixmaster,
right?
Which was like 10 miles later from there,
something like that.
Well, I say 10 miles, 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Dallas. Who knows? Traffic is horrible in Dallas, like it is in every big city. So we are getting off. We think we're doing fine because we weren't too terribly worried about y'all at this point because we know both there were directions were being handled. We knew how to get back to the Airbnb.
Yeah,
and I was helping to navigate Carrie back to the place.
Yeah,
and we get off of the Mixmaster. I'm helping Carrie get merged onto 635, trying letting her know once she can go over. And Wendy gets the text. I don't know whom it specifically was from. I assume Ashley. And I'm assuming y'all had pulled over by this point.
Oh, I know it wasn't Ashley.
I don't know if it was you or if it was Colleen then.
It had to be Miss Colleen.
Maybe so.
Or it was the other person.
Yes. Either way, we got pulled over. Or not pulled over. We're going and she says, oh, by the she says, oh my goodness.
I can hear it. I can hear Wendy say that.
And we go, what? What happened? It's like, well, they've not. They're saying they're fine. It's like, oh no, what happened? Apparently, a piece of plywood hit their car, and it's taking out the headlights. They're pulled over at a gas station. Eventually, and then someone sent a picture of the damage, and it looked. From what I could see, it looked bad, but when I got a better look at it, it's like, okay, it's bad, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Because, when you hear a piece of wood hit a car at 70 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Your thoughts are, is anybody dead?
Yeah.
Is the car totaled?
Is it completely disabled?
It's like, how about, do we need to go drop some people off and come back and pick you up? Do I need to go get the van? That's literally the thought that was going through my head.
Yeah.
At the time.
I need to call an ambulance?
Yes. No, but we guess y'all said y'all were fine. So we went ahead and got back to the Airbnb, waiting to hear more news from y'all. I get there and I go. It's like, okay, we could tell a storm was coming in. That was 9/10 of the problem.
Yeah.
So I get up. I bring up the local radar, and I go, huh. I really hope they're under good cover because I saw the storm coming and it's like, huh. So I called you and said, y'all either need to leave right now or be under good cover. So something to that effect.
Yeah.
Y'all just went ahead and waited, which is smart.
Yeah. We just waited in the car for a couple of minutes.
Right. And then literally it was the three of us sitting there watching the weather go, thinking, please get back safe. Please get back safe. We want our friends to come back safe. And then finally we hear y'all come to the, and I think all three of us said, oh, thank God.
Yeah, it was apparently, according to Ashley, it was our mother who called,
yes.
who contacted Wendy about
I wasn't sure.
I knew it wasn't Ashley. Ashley was just more like this.
And you would have been too busy trying to take care of Ashley.
Yeah, exactly.
Instance.
Yeah, just get pulled over,
Calm her down. It's going to be okay. Just exit, get in the Wendy's parking lot. I don't know if it was a Wendy's.
Yeah.
I hope it was actually a gas station, because at least that would have been covered.
So here's another part I didn't mention. So we get pulled over into this it had a Sonic in it. Had a Sonic. So we had a Sonic gas station. So we pull in, and instantly I'm getting out of the car. Ashley's getting out of the car, and somebody's getting out of the car.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I was like, just get back in the car.
Get back in the car. I don't want to talk bad about this woman because she's a nice lady.
Yeah.
But she can be a headache.
Yes, I completely agree. In Christian love.
Oh, there's a callback.
Yes. So yeah, it was a great weekend. What was your work day like?
It was a very calm day. Apparently, Friday when I was off on vacation while they were still there, they couldn't figure out how to print a certain thing because it had to change out the paper, and they couldn't figure out how to change out the paper. And of course, I get there and I finish it in 15 minutes.
Of course.
And that includes the walk between buildings. Because it's literally, it's like, you push this button right here and you're done. But if you don't know how to do that, I mean...
True.
You know, what are you going to do? And then, of course, Wednesday and Thursday last week were just prep, getting ready to go on the trip. So...
Yeah, agreed.
Nothing too crazy happened there. But... Jacob, I do have a question for you, though I think I know at least one of the answers you're going to give me.
What have you been watching?
So, what have I been watching?
Let's talk about a certain movie first.
Well, first off, before that, so we have to go during our retreat in Dallas. So we have to go to we're like, oh, we need to get ice for something. So me and Ashley go into Walmart, and we have to go get ice and something else, like some of the few items.
Oh, yes.
And so it's like, oh, okay, let's go by the electronics for a few minutes. Let me check. And sure enough, I find the movie that I'm looking for. It's the Blu-ray edition that came out from G Kids, Ferngully, The Last Rainforest. Finally got that on Blu-ray, finally. And
movie I never finished.
Yeah. Oh,
I got 30 minutes into the film as a child. Was apparently scared by the pollution monster, whoever that was. Was it Tim Curry?
Yeah, Tim Curry is toxic.
I can see me getting scared as Tim Curry.
It's freaking Tim Curry.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes perfect, honest sense.
Yes.
And apparently it scared me so much I was crying, so my mom came in, shut the VHS off, and we returned the movie to the movie rental place with the rest of the movie having been unseen. So I have no idea how this movie goes.
Oh, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, I bet next year.
Yeah, next year.
What you were saying.
So yeah, me and Ashley, of course, I have to go by the toy department just because I like just looking at toys. So we get back, and I can't believe how much flack we got in Christian love. Okay, flack.
Hang on. Let's start this from the beginning. Okay, we stopped Friday.
Yes.
To get ice.
Yes.
Because none of us could ever buy enough ice. Anytime we stopped.
That is true.
But yeah, we're stopping in Seagoville to buy ice.
Yes.
And we go ahead and look through toys and electronics. You were looking for the movie at that time.
Yeah.
We got back and then we were getting ready to leave. And you turned like the complete opposite direction from the front of the store. I'm wondering.
I got turned around. Let's say that.
Jacob, where you go? It's like, oh, we're the door's this way. It's like, look behind me. It's like, okay, let's see where this goes. And we just start walking.
I was taking the long way around. My excuse is
the scenic route around the Walmart.
Exactly. This very tiny Walmart.
I will say, in your defense, this was a very narrow and squat Walmart.
It was.
It's weird. But we're just walking through there, and I'm like, there's the door over there. Where's Jacob going? Where are we going, Jacob? And finally we get about halfway to grocery. I said, hey, Jacob, I think the door's over there.
It's like, oh, okay.
It's like, oh, okay. So we go to the door. We go there. Next day,
Yes.
we stop at that Walmart that was in Balch Springs.
Yeah, different store.
This is the story you just told where
Yes.
you found the movie and you looked in toys and you came back. And yeah, you did get a lot of flack because here's what literally happened.
Okay.
We're sitting in there. The van.
Oh, yeah. The van.
Bless its heart. We had the old van.
Yes.
And it's got an air conditioner in it, but it really only works well
when you're
moving.
Yes.
Because it's an older van. And literally about 3 minutes, maybe 5 at the most, before y'all finally came back, I said, I know what happened. It's the only reason why it's taking them this long to buy ice, eggs, and Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
That's all y'all went in there for.
Yeah.
I said, I know what happened. Jacob had to go through toys. And then had to go through electronics to look for that movie.
Yeah.
And I know that's exactly what happened. So when you got back, you said, hey, I found that movie. I said, I knew it. That's where you were. And then the other lady, as we keep calling her.
Yes, the other lady.
In Christian Love.
Yes.
Says, Jacob, shame on you for taking us away, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
She was giving you a dressing down for really no good reason. Because I didn't care. I knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
I would have preferred you done it faster, but
it's true.
You know, it was more like, have you ever seen the movie Sully?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. At the very end, they're giving their testimony about what happened on the thing. And they ask the first officer if there was anything he would have done that Captain Sully didn't. And he says, yeah, I would have done this in the summer.
In the summer?
Yeah, when it's warm outside.
Ah, gotcha.
And the water wasn't so cold.
Right.
That's kind of my thought process here. It's like, I don't blame you for going and looking at that, but I wish it had done it when it was cooler outside.
Yeah, a little more during the fall.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway,
but with that tangent over, so me and Drew went and saw, because he told me about it prior to going to the retreat.
There's a story behind this.
Okay,
too.
Tell that story.
Back in March, I'm talking with a friend of mine, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, we need to get together." There's this. I just found out that they're showing getting ready to show Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan in theaters. We should get together and see this. And I said, oh, let me look and see when that's going to be. I look it up. It's Labor Day weekend. By this time, I already knew I had plans on Labor Day weekend. I said, oh, poo, I'm going to actually be on singles retreat at that time. And then it occurred to me where we were going.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were going to be literally like a stone's throw away from the movie theater that was going to be showing it. So I said, hang on, I think I may have a workaround, but I need to double check and see if we're going to have time. Because I didn't know exactly what the schedule was. And I checked with our group leader, Miss Wendy, and she says, oh, yeah, we'll have plenty of time that evening. This was, of course, before you had a giant piece of plywood fly at the car.
Yeah.
And literally there was at one point and that's like, you know what? If they don't want to get out, fine. I can watch this movie later. It's not that big a deal. But anyway, so I text back to him and said, yeah, we'll have plenty of time out. We can be at the movie theater, this day, right at this showtime. It'd be great. He says, great. We talked about it about a month ago, too, just because I wanted to remind him.
And very thankful you invited me.
I invited you. It's like,
thankful.
Because it came down to the fact, it's like, I'm going to go see Wrath of Khan with some friends of mine, and Jacob is going to be there. I cannot not invite him.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so terribly rude. Of course, the other problem is you and Ashley were setting up for a date night that night, and weren't you?
Well, no. Let's see. We were going to do something on Saturday, but that just obviously didn't fall. It fell through.
Right. Okay, never mind that. I had my facts wrong.
You were fine.
I had my facts wrong, but anyway. And I normally I play Destiny with this friend, but for whatever reason, last Monday, it just he couldn't do it for whatever reason. I don't remember what it was. It's not important to the story. And I didn't think they're texting to make sure we were still on track until we were at the Airbnb on Friday. So I texted says, hey, want to make sure we're still on track. Movie is this time at over at this theater. And he says, well, I'm not sure. We're It looks like we might have a Labor Day thing coming up. I don't know when Mom's scheduling this. And so, okay, fine, it happens.
Yes,
Stuff happens. But he didn't give me a definitive yes or no answer. So I texted him Sunday when we were getting ready to leave and says, hey, Jacob and I are heading to the theater. Are y'all coming? Do you know when he finally texted me back? In the middle of the movie.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't look at it at the time.
Right.
Basically, stuff happened. He couldn't come.
Yeah.
Not get into that because that's not important. But anyway, yeah, we saw Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan in theaters.
Yes.
And that is a classic film.
Yes.
And granted, I prefer Star Trek VI to The Undiscovered Country to Wrath of Khan. But if we're being perfectly and utterly honest, Wrath of Khan's the better made film.
Yeah, agreed.
If we're being honest.
Yeah.
But I will admit, I cried at the end.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
With that film, yeah.
But anyway, what are your thoughts on it?
Where to begin with Wrath of Khan? Wrath of Khan is an iconic movie. Be like, it's
an icon.
Exactly. And hopefully we can do a full review of that on.
We are talking about that. We hadn't set up a recording date yet.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah.
So I've watched this movie since I was a kid. I love it to death. I have it on Blu-ray, and
but apparently not the director's edition.
No, I didn't realize this was the director's cut.
Because you leaned over at one point and said, "Is this the director's edition?" I said, "Yeah,
yeah."
Except what I didn't tell him was like, actually, yeah, this is the director's edition, but the scenes that's pointing this out to you, they're not part of the director's edition. They were part of the TV version.
Which made me like it fleshed out a lot more of the story.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, like some of these things I'm like, where have these been my entire life? Oh yeah, the director's cut.
Yeah.
Which I am going to maybe next week go find it on Amazon and buy it.
It's still there.
Yeah. So,
but anyway,
yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great. It was kind of like, it was a little mournful with the passing of
Nichelle Nichols.
Their passing, and they did a little nice tribute to her towards the beginning of the before the film.
Yeah,
that was nice, and just like watching such an iconic film, because I know my brother Jim, he saw not Star Wars but Jaws in 3D. He said that was amazing. So,
but yeah, there is just something about seeing a classic film in the theater that makes, especially if you've only ever seen it on TV.
Yeah,
that I highly suggest if you are looking at the show times and looking for, and you see there's a movie coming up that you've seen 100 times at home, never got a chance to watch it in the theater when it was live, and they're showing it in a theater, go watch it if you got the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't care if it's, Bozo's Big Adventure or whatever.
Yeah.
If you enjoy the movie, go watch it in the theater because you will still have a good time. In fact, it will actually make it better, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Especially if you got a crowd of people in there who are also fans.
Yeah. It reminds me of when we saw, like before we started doing the podcast, we went and saw Transformers the movie in theaters. That was an experience.
And that trip was the proof this podcast was going to work.
Yeah, it was a good solid be like confirmation. And it's like, yeah, this is what we need to do.
Yes.
And Wrath of Khan is one of those films you need to watch in theaters at least once in your life. I just said like bucket list check. And it was like, yes. So yeah, being like, yeah, Wrath of Khan, amazing. So we got home on Monday afternoon.
Yes.
I watched because I thought I was supposed to work on the next day, which was Tuesday. So I called work and be like, hey, when do I work? Oh, you work on Wednesday. Great. I've got 6 days. Awesome. So
meanwhile, I was up at 5:30 this morning.
I feel your pain, brother.
But anyway.
So I watched Ferngully on Blu-ray. It's been completely restored and it's a beautiful film. It's interesting the way they did it. There's one scene, you probably didn't even get to this scene. There's a point where it's Batty and Batty raps at one point.
Of course, it was the 90s.
It was the 90s, and apparently that scene, it was inked and colored digitally.
Oh,
It was one of the first theatrical films to do that.
okay.
So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And it's a good story. It's an environmental story, of course, but it's a good story.
It was the 90s.
It was the 90s, of course. Other than that, it's just been like it was a good movie. I think I watched it twice, with just watching it regular, and two with commentary from the director.
Mhm.
And I love doing that. It's a lot of fun. And it's one of those films where it's not be like, oh, we're just gonna throw all these kiddie, games to you and sit like very menial trivia, whatever. This gave you like really, really good stuff to, sink your teeth into.
Right.
Other than that, I watched episode 3 of She-Hulk on Disney Plus.
Mhm.
That was interesting. Definitely Wong showing up.
That was funny.
That was funny.
I especially like that part there that he says, look, I know you're looking forward to seeing Wong, but I just want to let you know that this is not one of those cameo shows. I mean, yeah, we had Hulk in the first one, and then we had Abomination. I can't think of that actor's name. In the second one, it's like, oh, maybe this is one of those cameo shows. But anyway, that's not important right now.
Yeah, it's still about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
big time lawyer adventure.
Big time lawyer adventure. But it was good. It was funny. Like She-Hulk is. Highly recommended. Go back to the beginning, watch it. I have not watched all the MCU stuff yet, not all of it, but I will get there when I get there. All right, fine.
Just saying, catch up. It's all on Disney Plus.
True.
I don't know what you've missed. It's not important right now.
It's not important right now. So I'll watch that, and as I'm finishing notes, I'm watching Tangled. Watch 2 episodes, which we are reviewing tonight, which are very good episodes, and continue forward with some really good episodes afterwards. And we get a reveal of who someone is, which
I called early on.
Called very early on.
Actually, tonight's they don't really call who it is, but you go in like, there's only one person this could be.
Exactly. But yeah, good episodes. Very, very good episodes. And I can't wait to finish the series up and they get started on apparently Lower Decks.
That's what it's looking like, folks. We have 4, the poll is still open over on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to go over there and vote for either Star Trek Lower Decks seasons 2 and 3. What is the name of that show?
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls. That wasn't the one I was thinking of. Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yes.
Or X-Men the Animated Series.
Mm-hmm.
You need to vote for one of those. And right now it does look like we're doing Star Trek Lower Decks, which I'm happy.
Yeah.
I would take X-Men also and Gravity Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Evangelion, maybe not so much. I'm just saying, I know that's coming eventually because eventually we do have to do a certain movie connected to that, but not until we finish the show.
Yes.
Because that's a lot of orange juice.
Oh my gosh. All I can say is whenever we do wind up doing the end of
for that episode,
Evangelion, it's just more like prepare yourself because it gets nuts.
Yes. But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, what I've been watching.
Yes.
It's now my turn.
Yes, it is.
So I introduced you to something Friday that I had just recently found earlier that week was on YouTube for legally. Okay. It was a show I watched when I was a kid with my dad late night on PBS called The Red Green Show.
Oh, that.
Yes.
And Columbo. I forgot Columbo.
Oh, yeah, we did watch Columbo.
Yes.
But anyway, I introduced Jacob to The Red Green Show. I'm half convinced you may have seen it before and didn't know what it was.
I've never seen that before.
But I could be wrong. This is essentially a variety show. It was made in Canada. I guess those are technically Canadian rednecks.
Apparently.
But anyway. And basically you have these little different segments throughout the show, and there's a little bit of an ongoing storyline. It follows Red Green, the leader of Possum Lodge. He has he's the main guy, and you got a couple other different characters in there, not who aren't as important. But anyway. And one of my favorite segments on that is always going to be Handyman's Secret Corner. or handyman's. It's the handyman's thing. Anyway, and basically on that, he always makes something out of junk,
Hmm.
and it always works, at least for a couple minutes. And it usually involves a lot of the handyman's secret weapon, duct tape.
Hmm.
To the point where there's other episodes where it starts with a little what do you call it? Not an advertisement, but thing that says all such and such was provided by this company.
Mm-hmm.
It's all says all duct tape was provided by the 3M Company of Canada.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, that's a funny show. Go give that a shot if you've never seen it. Especially if you like a little bit of blue collar comedy. It's kind of sort of making fun of it at the same time. But anyway, also I watched She-Hulk, like you said. And I've been enjoying that. And then I watched the second episode of season 3 of Lower Decks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying that. And then after we got back and I watched Emoji Movie, it occurred to me that, oh yeah, there was a new TV show that came out Friday on Amazon.
Really?
Yes. And this was one I'd been a little worried about because some rumors had hit the internet about some things. And I just told a friend of mine, the same friend I was hoping was going to show up for the Star Trek movie, said, look, I'm going to be waiting to find out from you if this is any good, because he's much more of a Tolkien fan than I am.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, I'll wait till he tells me. And he said, he got back to me after he watched it, says, yeah, this is good. Go ahead and give it a shot. So Monday, I remembered that Rings of Power had already started. So I loaded it up and I watched the first 2 episodes. And it is very good. You can tell they are at least inspired by the Peter Jackson films.
Yeah.
Though told much, much earlier. Howard Shore, the composer for both The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, actually made the main theme.
Oh, okay.
But most of the music is actually being done by Bear McCreary. It's actually very interesting. There are some things I know about the lore that I kind of knew that they actually alluded to in this. So it's like, okay, that's cool. It's got an interesting story. I am curious where they're going with it.
Yeah.
Because by the end of episode 2, they are only starting on the forge.
Huh.
That will make the rings. I'm assuming it's the forge for the rings. And I'm actually assuming it's actually the Dark Tower in Mordor. Where the shadows lie.
You know how long it's been since I've watched those films? Theaters.
You should watch them again.
Okay.
Extended editions.
Ah.
But anyway, I watched that. I watched that, so that was good. And I think that's about all I've gotten around to watching. So, Jacob, what do we got in the news?
The Cellcast News with your host Jacob Heron.
Why, thank you, D-Lit. And going into the news segment, there was only one bit of news I could find. It was probably, and it's definitely worth mentioning. So just a little bit of trivia behind the scenes. So when we were doing the poll for the next series that we're going to do for TAS, or the animated series, I gave out a list of what movies that I thought I would like, and kind of threw it. So, okay, Drew would love to do this, and Drew would love to do this. And I threw one in there that be like, I just completed probably last year and absolutely love to review to a point, which is Batman the Animated Series.
Which I suggested holding off on because of X-Men 97.
That is
it
true.
Might be good to go ahead and go through the X-Men animated series.
That is true. So,
we will get to Batman the Animated Series eventually.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. So, apparently 30 years ago, on September 5th, 1992, Batman the Animated Series debuted on Fox Kids. Now, I'd be like, if you're a '90s kid, not you were not born in the '90s, but you were a child in the '90s. Be like, Batman the Animated Series was the bomb, was the deal.
It was a great show.
It was a great show, very well done. It didn't play dumb to your kids or play down the kids. It was just fantastic storytelling.
It was it was essentially originally, I think, designed as a tie-in to the Tim Burton movies.
It was,
but they had to make those more kid-friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought in, at least, while they kept the look of the Tim Burton films, they kind of brought back in the campiness of the old '60s show, but not to the point where it actually detracted from serious storytelling.
Yes, agreed.
Want to hear more about that? Go listen to our Batman Mr. Freeze episode where I went through like 3 of those in the review.
Yeah, you did.
But anyway.
Yeah. So that is all I could find for news, unless you have something else.
I don't really know of anything, unfortunately, other than Spy Family is getting its either second half or second season in October is when that's supposed to start airing.
Okay, so is it Japanese or dubbed yet?
It'll start off with a sub, and then like 2 weeks later, the episodes will start getting dubbed.
Okay,
because it's usually, well, I say that, and yet the first one actually the dub and sub were like almost day and date, so it'll be around the same time. We haven't even really got a trailer for the second part.
Oh, okay.
So, but still, that's probably going on the list fairly quickly for us to review. Also,
I gotcha,
because that has been one of my favorite animes this year.
I gotcha. So that is all I have for info and stuff.
Okay, well then we need to get to our, I don't know if it's actually spoiler free because it is bad movie month.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to at least try to refrain from hitting spoilers for the first part of our review of the Emoji Movie.
True.
Certified fresh and spoiler free.
Would you believe this is the second time I've watched this film?
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't you watch it in theaters?
No. I knew it was bad, so I didn't go waste my money in theaters.
I gotcha.
But when we did that 2020 movie list thing,
mm-hmm.
100 first watches, this was one of the ones I put on there. And it's just as bad as I remember.
Oh, crap.
It's okay. That's the thing. This is not like so bad it's good, I would say. It's serviceable, I think, for the most part. And I think a lot of kids might enjoy this. But this is a film that is almost by now out of date in terms of references and such. I can't imagine what this is going to look like 5 years from now.
Agreed.
So it's an okay film, is be my spoiler-less thought on it. What are your spoiler-less thoughts?
My spoiler...
Or spoiler-free?
Spoiler-free. It's got some good animation. For its time period, it had good animation. I would agree with you. Yeah, that's one of the things it does have. It's got going for it. It's got good animation.
But it's got a high budget animation.
Yeah, high budget animation.
There's not any like repeated scenes.
Yeah, it's got some good cast members. I know that. Mm-hmm. There was one point it made me laugh, and it wasn't intended to make you laugh, but I laughed at it. And there's this good little what I saw was very interesting. Would kind of call back to what they call more of a caste system.
Yeah, and
I was like, okay, that's an interesting point, but I didn't like this film. I honestly didn't. And
I don't think either one of us liked this film.
We didn't. No. I mean, like, obviously it's called Bad Movie Month.
Yeah.
But it's just like, this was just a train wreck.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is going to be an interesting like and dislike section.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, on that note, why don't we advertise for a good podcast that tells good stories that we kind of like, called and we will get to spoiling the Can you actually call this a film?
Yes, it's a film.
Okay. Technically, it's a film.
It's a full-length
It is a
theatrical
full-length feature
release film.
I don't know why I even asked that, because I'm always of the opinion that quality does not determine what it is. But anyway, let's go ahead and run the ads, and we'll talk about this on the other side.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest checking out the Untold Podcast, which is a speculative fiction podcast using the genres of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, among others, in order to engage the culture's imagination from a Christian worldview. Every month, Nathan James Norman produces and narrates a new story presented in a unique and dynamic way. Check out the Untold Podcast at theuntoldpodcast.com to listen and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
The Cellcast would like to thank the following patrons: Josh Adams, Ashley Ruiz, Book of Gaming.
To get your name on the show, plus uncut episodes, early access to the Cellcast Plus reviews, and special art from Jacob, please donate to us on Patreon.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the movie The Emoji Movie. Listener discretion is advised. The Emoji Movie was written and directed by Tony Leonidas, or Leondis. It's really more Leondis. And he also wrote and directed Igor.
So he didn't, scream, "This is Sparta!"
No, it'd be more like, these are emojis! It was also written by Eric Siegel, Mike White, and John Hoffman.
Got it.
Getting into the cast, we got T.J. Miller playing Gene, and he played Weasel in Deadpool.
Oh, yeah. Hairy guy from the bar.
Yes. James Corden played High Five, and he was Peter Rabbit in Peter Rabbit. Anna Faris, who played Jailbreak, is Sam Sparks in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, both 1 and 2.
Got it.
Maya Rudolph, who played Smiler, was Aunt Cass in Big Hero 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Stephen Wright, who played Mel Meh, was Speed in The Swan Princess.
He played Speed?
Yeah.
I can totally hear that now. Totally hear it.
Jennifer Coolidge, who was Mary Meh, was Lazy Susan in Gravity Falls.
Oh. Hold on.
You know, who the old woman who ran the diner?
Oh,
and
yeah.
had the one eye that was a lazy eye. That's why she was called Lazy Susan.
Yeah.
Sir Patrick Stewart played Poop. Of course, he was Captain Jean-Luc Picard on Star Trek The Next Generation. This was not his best work.
And you're forgetting one thing.
Oh.
Professor Charles Xavier from
I didn't
X-Men.
forget it.
But you have to mention it.
I try to keep the number of things down.
That's
yes,
true.
He did play Professor Charles Xavier on X-Men until James McAvoy took over.
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera was the voice of Akiko Glitter, aka the Just Dance Avatar.
Oh, okay.
She's, of course, a pop idol.
Yeah.
Sofia Vergara played Flamenca, one of the little flamenco dancing emojis.
Oh, yeah.
And she played the character of Carmen in Happy Feet 2.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Rachel Ray played Spam.
Rachel Ray.
That was Rachel Ray.
Okay.
Of course, she's a celebrity cook.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean Hayes played the devil emoji, whose name was apparently Steven.
Steven the Devil.
Yes. And in the movie Cats and Dogs,
Meow.
he played Mr. Tinkles.
Oh, that's funny.
Kingdom Hearts connections for this one.
I'd be like, okay, prior to this, he showed me the list. Be like, it's
as
interesting.
long as the other one.
Yes.
And it only has like one person who's in both lists.
Uh-huh.
Tara Strong, additional voices in Emoji Movie. plays Riku from Final Fantasy X in Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
I have to specify because there's another Riku.
Really?
Right. So the Riku who is also in Final Fantasy X.
Oh, okay.
Spelled with 2 Ks. Rikku instead of Riku.
Okay.
So not the white-haired boy that's friends with Sora.
Oh, okay.
The scantily clad woman who's a fairy in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
Yeah.
James Harnell was additional voices here. And he played Dr. Finkelstein in Locke and additional voices in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Josh Keaton, who was additional voices here, played young Hercules in Kingdom Hearts. Keith Ferguson, who was additional voices here, played Marluxia in Kingdom Hearts. Bill Farmer, who was in ADR in this film.
Really?
Yes. He is Goofy, Pluto, Horace Horsecollar, and Sleepy in Kingdom Hearts.
Yuck.
David Boat, who was additional voices in Emoji Movie, is Alias and Lexius in Kingdom Hearts. Yes, these are all real names, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Phil Lamar, who is additional voices in Emoji Movie, it played the character of Phobos in Kingdom Hearts. Fred Tatasciore, who was additional voices here, was Kevin Flynn and Clue in Kingdom Hearts.
Huh.
Max Middleman, who is additional voices here, played Lushu in Kingdom Hearts. TJ Miller, who plays Gene in this, plays Fred from Big Hero 6 in Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
Yes. Carlos Alazraqui, I apologize for that mispronunciation, who was additional voices here, plays Mike Wazowski in Kingdom Hearts.
Mike Wazowski.
Yes. And that brings me to the end of the Kingdom Hearts connections. What do we got in info and stuff?
All right. So, info and stuff. All right. So, on IMDb, it has a 7.7 out of 10. Not bad.
How?
That's really good score, right? Really, really good.
Is that the critical reception or is that the audience reception?
That's just what it said at IMDb. The 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, it's available to watch on Disney Plus.
Bear with me as I check Rotten Tomatoes.
It was produced by Walt Disney Animation, Walt Disney Pictures, distributed by
Walt
Disney.
What are you talking about?
It was distributed.
Quit pulling a Paul J. Powers and tell me what you're talking about, because this is not the Emoji Movie.
Okay, fine. I'm pulling a Paul. It's a better movie.
What movie are you talking about?
Tangled.
We're not to that show yet. Talk about the Emoji Movie.
All right. You're welcome, Paul.
At least Paul's make sense.
I just want to drive you nuts.
I guess there was Tangled emoji in that Disney emoji game.
Yes, there was.
Unlocked emoji you could actually use, but then if you didn't have that game, no one else could see them. Talk about actual emojis, please.
All right.
Actual Emoji Movie, please.
So, input stuff. Yeah, IMDb is a 3.3 out of 10.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a much better score.
I was beginning to wonder.
All right, you're able to watch it most of them where you can purchase a stream for $3.99 or $2.99, whatever.
Which we did. I had to do twice. Because we started it
and didn't finish
it because we got half an hour into the film while we were up there, and then somebody came in, so we paused it, and we never started it back up again. So I had to rent this twice.
All right, so production was okay, Alpha. Exactly. Production was by Columbia Pictures and Sony Pictures Animation. Distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. Release date was July 23rd, 2017 at the Ridgely Valley Theater, and nationally and worldwide was July 28th, 2017. Box office had an estimated budget of $50 million. Its opening box office was $86 million. Or its gross, sorry, I read that wrong. Its opening was $24.5 million on July 30th of the same year. Its gross for United States and Canada was $86 million. Its worldwide gross was $217.7 million. So it made its money back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how.
Because people thought, oh, this will be a safe movie to have with the kids.
Right. So, home release. The Emoji Movie was released on 4K, Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD on October 24, 2017 by Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. According to the numbers, the domestic DVD sales was $8.6 million and the Blu-rays were $6.9 million. And as of right now, there is no sequel.
Thank the Lord.
There had been rumors that there was going to be a kind of like a reboot of this film. But
why? It's only 5 years old.
Yeah. But there again, the rumors persist. Be like, oh, there's going to be 1, there's going to be 2, there's going to be 3. It's like such a viled, reviewed movie. They're going to do a sequel to just because it made money. That is true.
But anyway.
So that is all I have for info and stuff. You're welcome, Paul.
Let's get into the summary of this film. Gene is an emoji that lives in Textopolis, a digital city inside the phone of his user, a teenager named Alex. He is the son of 2 meh emojis named Mel and Mary, and is able to make multiple expressions despite his parents' upbringing. His parents are hesitant about him going to work, but Gene insists so that he can feel useful. Upon receiving a text from his love interest, Addie McAllister, Alex decides to send her an emoji. When Gene is selected, he panics, makes a panicked expression, and wrecks the tech center. Gene is called in by Smiler, a smiley emoji and leader of the tech center, who concludes that Gene is a malfunction and therefore must be deleted. Gene is chased by bots, but is rescued by High Five, a once popular emoji who has since lost his fame due to lack of use. He tells Gene that he can be fixed if they find a hacker, and High Five accompanies him so that he can reclaim his fame. Smiler sends more bots to look for Gene when she finds out that he has left Textopolis, as his actions have caused Alex to think that his phone needs to be fixed. Gene and High Five come to a piracy app where they meet a hacker emoji named Jailbreak who wants to reach Dropbox so that she can live in the cloud. The trio is attacked by Smiler's bots, but manages to escape into the game Candy Crush. Jailbreak reveals that Gene can be fixed in the cloud, and the group goes off into the Just Dance app. While there, Jailbreak is revealed to be a princess emoji who fled home from tiring of being stereotyped. They are once again attacked by bots, and their actions cause Alex to delete the Just Dance app. Gene and Jailbreak escape, but High Five is taken along with the app and ends up in the trash. Mel and Mary go searching for Gene and have a very lethargic argument. They make up in the Instagram app, where Mel reveals that he too is a malfunction, explaining Gene's behavior. While traveling through Spotify, Jailbreak admits that she likes Gene just the way he is and that he should not be ashamed of his malfunction. The two start to fall in love, and Gene silently debates his choice to change himself. They make it to the trash and rescue High Five, but are soon attacked by a bot upgraded with illegal malware. They evade it by entangling its arms and enter Dropbox, where they encounter a firewall. After many tries, the gang gets past it with a password, being Addie's name, and make it to the cloud, where Jailbreak prepares to reprogram Gene. Gene admits his feelings for Jailbreak, but she wishes to stick to her plan of venturing into the cloud, unintentionally causing Gene to revert to his apathetic programming out of heartbreak. Suddenly, the upgraded bots sneak into the cloud and capture Gene, prompting High Five and Jailbreak to go after him with a Twitter bird summoned by Jailbreak in her princess form. As Smiler prepares to delete Gene, Mel and Mary arrive. Mel reveals to everyone that he is also a malfunction, prompting Smiler to threaten to delete him as well. Jailbreak and High Five arrive and disable the bot, which falls on top of Smiler. Alex has since taken his phone to a store in hopes that a factory reset performed by technical support would restore his phone's functionality, which would entail total destruction of Gene's world should such an operation complete. Out of desperation, Gene prepares to have himself texted to Addie, making numerous faces to express himself. Realizing that Addie received a text from him, Alex cancels the factory reset just as it nearly finishes, saving the emoji and finally getting to speak with Addie, who likes the emoji Alex sent.
Minus that's not how resets work.
Gene accepts himself for who he is and is celebrated by all of the emojis in a mid-credits scene. Smiler has been relegated to the loser lounge, with the other unused and forgotten emojis for her crimes, wearing numerous braces due to her teeth being chipped by the bot, and playing and losing a game of Go Fish. Getting into the trivia for this film. On January 13th, 2018, Saudi Arabia lifted a 35-year ban on movie theaters. This was the first movie publicly shown in the country. It played at a film festival in Jeddah as a double feature with none other than Captain Underpants, the first epic movie.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Wow, they bad timing to, lift sanctions.
Yes. Sony invited Jack Douglas, owner of Jack's Films YouTube channel, to the world premiere because he praised it sarcastically. This was the first feature-length animated movie nominated for Razzies for Worst Picture, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. It was also the first animated movie nominated for Razzie for Worst Screenwriting since The Hunchback of Notre Dame in 1996.
Wow.
Which was nominated for Worst Written Film, grossing over $100 million in 1997. Eventually, the movie won all 5 Razzies for which it was nominated, including Worst Picture and Worst Director.
Wow.
And that's not even the best part.
Wow.
Jordan Peele was offered the role of Poop, but thought the idea was messed up. After thinking about it for a day, he asked his manager to inquire what the job would pay, only to learn that the part had already been given to Sir Patrick Stewart.
Jeez.
Peele decided to quit acting after this to concentrate on directing.
That's saying something.
Yes. Sony promoted the latter release of the trailer by hosting a press conference in Cannes the day before the 2017 Cannes Film Festival, which featured T.J. Miller parasailing in. Variety called the event slightly awkward, and The Hollywood Reporter described it as promotional ridiculousness.
You're not kidding.
According to T.J. Miller, this was the fastest produced animated movie in history. And that's the end of my trivia for this film.
Interesting.
So I have to ask, Jacob, do you even have a like for this film?
I do. I actually have 3.
Okay.
All right. So my first like, it had good animation. It had a good budget for animation. It was very well animated. You had scenes that were very well done. They were very well animated. It wasn't like the last movie we reviewed. Let's just say
Let's
that.
go listen to 100% Wolf. You'll find out.
Yeah. This is a far better animated movie than that film was. So, yeah, I will give the movie this credit that the animation is very well done. It's very pretty when it comes to animation.
Yes.
What is your first like?
From a world building point of view, with one small exception, which is in my dislikes, you can tell they at least put some thought into this world.
They did.
The world building does make some sense, even though, and it does actually work with the way cell phones actually do work.
True.
With one exception, but we'll get to that. I do at least follow what's going on. The world does make sense in how it's created and set up, how the different apps exist on the phone, even though I'm just going to say right now, deletion does not happen that slowly. Whether you're talking about the Just Dance app or when they do the factory reset on the phone. Deletion just does not happen that slowly. It does take a little bit of time, but we'll get there when we get there. But for the rest of it, the thought process behind how these characters can move around in a world on a cell phone, even when they get to the cloud, even though I've got some problems with the fact that the bots can get there and steal them back, because that really doesn't make a lot of sense. Or the fact that emojis can go to the cloud, considering, I mean, they are just graphics files in reality, but anyway, not important. Some thought was put into how this world would work as a
agreed.
Wreck-It Ralph / Toy Story inanimate things have a life that you don't know about.
Wreck-It Ralph.
I said Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph / Toy Story.
That's true. Lego Movie.
Lego Movie, yes. Except Lego Movie did it better.
Yeah. So did Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, so did Toy Story. All 4 Toy Stories. Yeah, that's my thoughts. At least they did at least put a lot of good thought into how the world connects its games into the main phone. So.
Okay.
What's your second?
My second it uses something that I didn't think they would use as a story beat, and it's using class system.
Mhm.
And what, for people who don't know what a class system is that, say, if you were born in more medieval times Europe, that if you were born as
Not the restaurant.
not as, yeah, of course, not medieval times as a restaurant, but the medieval European times between I think it was the 7th century and the like 13th, 14th century was the Dark Ages in Europe. Now, granted, all the rest of the world wasn't as dark and gloom, but that can be debated for historians. But
Yes.
anyways, so if you were in England or France and you were a peasant, and you were like a shopkeeper, you were a tailor or something like that. So if you were born into a family like that, that's the only class you could live into. You could not go above your station. So I like the idea that they use the class system where our main protagonist is a mer. Is it mer or meh?
I always say meh.
Yeah, it's kind of like a meh emoji. So he can't be anything other than a meh emoji.
It's all he can be.
And so everybody else is criticizing him for being this, he's being something he's not supposed to. And I like that idea that it's to be like, you can only be one thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's using class system ideology and social structuring. But like, you can only be one thing. And I like that they kind of, I like the idea, but the idea itself falls apart at the very end, because you have everybody in the world who is criticizing this guy all over the place because he's kind of being himself, and he's not
right.
He's not staying within his class.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by the end of the story, that whole idea completely collapses. But I like the initial concept.
Right.
So yeah, it's my number 2. What is yours? Second?
My second is the relationship between Mel and Mary Meh.
Okay.
And they're acting a lot.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. They both, throughout the entire film, never show... They sound bored with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
That's the type of emoji they are.
Right.
They're supposed to be meh. It's like he says in the beginning, he's supposed to be totally over everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, meh, I don't care. But the thing is, the way they handle his parents, who are also meh emojis, they you actually have just enough additional emotion in their acting that you actually do believe that they have feelings.
Yeah.
That they're not just meh emoji themselves. It's just this is how they've always been taught themselves to act.
Yeah.
The acting non-emotionally, and it still be believable that they are still living things. That takes skill. I mean, you look at something like Spock from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Does it much better, in my opinion, where they're only supposed to act logically.
Yeah.
But yet you can tell they are still living, breathing creatures because they have some emotions. They just don't focus on it. Data from Star Trek, played by Brent Spiner, is another good example of this. Even before he has the emotion chip, you can tell he's got at least some emotion, or at least the appearances of emotion.
Yeah.
So, and I thought Mary and Mel Meh actually did a good job of holding that up in this.
Okay.
So,
fair.
Yeah. What's your third?
My third is actually a scene, and it's one line. And it was the entire movie. I actually chuckled for once, the entire movie. So the phone is getting erased, and everyone's on high alert. Oh my gosh, we're getting deleted. Kind of like in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes.
A far better film. So there's one point, because obviously Sir Patrick Stewart plays the poop emoji. Simply says red alert. And I just died. I was like, oh my gosh, they went there. I was like, okay, that was kind of meta. It was funny. It came from Sir Patrick Stewart. I thought that was funny.
He had so many puns in this
film. That was the only pun that actually worked in the entire film. What is your third?
The scared Just Dance girl in the trash.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Here's the thing. You get to that Just Dance part, and I look at it and go, oh, this product placement is so bad. This is bad.
Mhm.
And because as they're playing the game, the sound effects are playing through his actual speaker. He, in order to get to stop doing it, stop talking about, he goes and deletes the app,
Mhm.
which makes sense. And of course, because of the weird way this world works, the app has a slow deletion process for some reason, and you see all the parts getting moved into the trash can,
Mhm.
including the giant avatar of the the Just Dance lady,
Mhm.
played by Christina Aguilera, whose name is apparently Akiko. Not that they ever said this in the movie,
Yes.
but anyway, she's you see they go to the scene in the trash can, and you can see her in there trying to do the Macarena to try and while crying
Mhm.
to herself, just trying to feel better. And then like one of the previously deleted trolls says, "Shut trap, you neon haired gypsy," or something to that
Mhm.
effect. And that got me. that was one of those first, like, oh, this is stupid, but it's like, okay, that's funny. That's just that came out of left field and hit me right there. It's like, okay, that's funny. That is funny. That's legitimately funny. And that's about the end of anything I could like about this film.
I gotcha.
So we should talk about dislikes.
Yes.
Which I suspect we'll be here a while.
Maybe.
What's your first dislike?
The story is extremely boring.
Yes.
Extremely boring.
And it's very hackneyed and very common.
Yeah, very common. There's no real I'll get to that in my second likes, but this story is so bland, so boring. It's cookie cutter. It looks like they took like the Lego Movie and Wreck-It Ralph and Toy Story and all these other great films, and took snippets and snipped it together, and then took their own little story and meshed together, and they still couldn't get this thing right.
Mm-hmm.
This is a boring, bland movie. I think the first time we tried to watch it at the retreat, I was like, oh, thank the Lord, it stopped.
Yes. And I think we just couldn't neither one of us wanted to start it again.
Yeah, agreed.
Even because the only reason we started it in the first place is like, we have to watch this.
Yeah.
And this is the best time.
Yeah.
And we never got back to it.
No. Yeah, exactly. This is a very boring, very bland, generic, cookie cutter, by the numbers kind of film. It, like I said, it does an interesting with more of this class system idea, but that's about it. You have the hacker who turns into the princess. It's like, okay, we didn't see this coming.
Vanellope.
Yeah, pretty much Vanellope. Verbatim, almost Vanellope. Thinking about it,
she Jailbreak turboed before Vanellope did.
Yeah. Oh, good point. So yeah, the story is very bland. It's almost non-original. It's just it's not it's a cash grab, but it's
an expensive cash
grab. It's an expensive cash grab. It's kind of what was that one? Dolls, the one we did.
Ugly Dolls.
Ugly Dolls. Yeah, kind of like that. Except Ugly Dolls had a better story a little bit.
It had better logic behind what the Ugly Dolls were.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
So
here's the thing about Ugly Dolls. Ugly Dolls, the toy manufacturer that made the toys that movie was based on,
yes,
had actually put a lot of thought into who the dolls are supposed to be.
Exactly.
In relation to everything else. Yeah, they had this other perfect doll thing that they brought in, because that would be a good, foil for, the Ugly Dolls. The problem here is the emojis are literally just supposed to represent objects or things. Literally, the emoji was created. Do you know where emojis came from?
Weren't they originally designed after the emoticons?
So here's the thing. On the computer, when they were getting ready to standardize, finally, every because of the internet, standardize every single keyboard and character out there between our Latin American alphabet along with our numbers, say our Latin American alphabet, the Latin alphabet, Arabic numbers, all the Japanese symbols and the Chinese symbols, and the all the different characters that need to be in a typeset.
Yeah.
One of the things that Japan had was a series of pictures that were designed as quick, this is kind of what I'm thinking of, and that's where emojis started. There wasn't many of them. There was like 10 or 15 of them at the time. Emoticons that we were making at the time quickly became emojis.
Yeah.
Because they were fairly simple pictures. That's where emojis came from. Because Japan already had this in their texting apps, and literally when they made Unicode, which is the standardized version, they literally had so many character options that they could assign that they just went ahead and threw those in there, and then they kept making them and continuing making them and continued putting them because emojis got very, very popular. Problem is, you can't have a multiple emotion emoji at all. We're going into my next dislike, if that's all right.
Go for it.
Granted, technically, this is not a bad concept. There are animated quote unquote emojis that Apple has made.
Yes.
And there are GIFs, which do technically predate this film, not the original animated GIF, but even the Facebook GIF.
Yeah.
Which is technically different, but we won't get into that right now.
Yeah.
Those exist. It existed before this. So the idea of and the concept of an animated emoji does exist out there. The problem is, it's not just going to be a text character emoji like every other emoji out there.
Agreed.
Which means while the text emoji is literally 1 byte, just 8 little character bits that make it up. Gene has to be a small video file.
Agreed.
In order for him to work.
Yeah.
Which means he's not an emoji. He's one of these animated emoji things that Apple made.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense with the phone. Other things that don't make sense. When you delete something on a computer, including a cell phone, what generally happens is that in order to save time and be fast, it is not automatically fully purged. It's just its listing in the directory is erased, because it's a lot easier to erase a couple of like a string of characters than it is an entire small string characters than the amount of characters it takes to make up a program.
Yeah,
which means it's not going to delete that slow. When you hit delete in there, it's literally gone like that. Now, technically, the program is still there.
Yeah,
it could be brought back up, but more likely, an update's going to overwrite it. Which does technically mean the whole thing with the trash doesn't happen the way they showed it either. And I'm sorry, and this is really where we get to how I actually named this dislike in the thing. All of those characters, once that factory reset started, you can't stop it.
No.
Especially not by unplugging the USB port or lightning port or whatever port that was. It's not going to magically bring the phone back. Once that factory reset started, those characters were dead. Effectively.
Yeah.
Not just every single one of those emojis in his phone, every single game sprite on that phone.
Yeah.
Every little Twitter bird that shows up in there,
yeah.
Anything that moved and lived and appeared to breathe as a character, which apparently included emoticons, because of one scene, died the second they started that factory reset. You can't save it. The whole last minute, maybe if we get it out there, we'll get this thing set at the last minute as everyone is slowly being deleted. Cannot have this Deus Ex Machina ending it does not work. They should
Yeah.
all be, if they came back at all, it should be because they should not remember the events of the movie.
Mm.
This is not how this works.
Yeah.
This is not, to quote Han Solo, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Ugh. This is not, computers and cell phones are not magic. You can't just say, oh, this is how it works because of the logic we came up with this movie. No, you have to make the movie first match the phone and the way the phones work, and then explain how all these characters do this. And you actually made it work for a little bit.
Yeah.
Enough that I could not what do they call that? It's not turn your brain off, but
disconnect.
Not disconnect. It's essentially like that. Basically, it's where you see it, but you know it's not real, but you kind of like you suspend disbelief.
Yeah, there we go.
I can suspend my disbelief for most of this film.
Yeah.
Until they deleted the Just Dance app. At that point, it's like, okay, wait a minute, you don't know exactly how this works. And then they, start the factory reset and go, they're all gone. They're all dead. No. You can't just act like they're all being thrown in the dumpster. That might have worked for the Just Dance app. Might have worked.
Yeah.
But as soon as those characters phased out of the existence, they're dead. You can't come back. That phone is bricked because he unplugged it during a factory reset. It's bricked. It's useless. He's going to have to get a new phone. If this is going to be based in any sense of reality. It, like I said, it does have logic. They did think this through.
Yeah.
Until they get to, well, we have to have the happy ending.
Yeah.
It's not how the phone works.
I completely understand. We're more of a technological base. It doesn't work.
They should have, if they had just had him send the animated emoji before they plugged it in to do the factory reset, and then he changed his mind, which I still disagree with. He should have gone ahead and just got a new phone, because who knows how old that phone is. Also, did he get his Instagram pictures off? Well, I guess they'd be on Instagram.
Yeah, any of his and there's another question. Like his contacts or anything. He's like, oh no, nothing.
Why is Dropbox the only way they can get off of
his phone?
They have Instagram.
Yeah.
They had Facebook. You know what those are? Cloud services. Yes, they are specifically designed to do different things than an actual cloud thing, but good night. Go to the internet app. That'll get you off without having to go through a firewall.
Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yes. You didn't think this all the way through. That trivia where TJ Miller said this was the fastest animated movie to ever been made, I believe it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of thought that went into the writing of this that should have been thought about more to actually come up with a logical way this works. But no, you had to have your movie out by Christmas or whenever it came out.
Right.
So yeah, that's my first dislike. The little bit of goodwill this had with making the phone world logically work.
Yeah.
They only did it halfway. Anyway, what's your second dislike?
My second dislike is nothing lands, nothing sticks. Here's the explanation. All the jokes don't land. Like, none of these jokes land. No jokes, no puns. Be like, they use everything under the sun. Be like, you say something, be like, oh, a joke has been there 1,000 times. There's no real creativity behind it, except for the one where it's like, poop says red alert. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Other than that, it's all just be like generic cookie cutter jokes that
the characters could have been anybody.
Yeah, literally. They could have got a smaller actor do this, but they had to get the big cast, and they literally wasted the cast. Wasted the cast because there was no creativity behind the writing. If they would have let the voice actors or the actors themselves not monologue, but ad lib like some of this, it might have been better, but I don't know. But it's just like you had the point I liked for the class system idea. I like the idea, but it's completely utterly dropped with the idea. It's like, oh, he's the outsider, no one likes him, that kind of thing. I kind of like how they did, but it's completely utterly ruined by the end of the film. There's no setup for it that, be like, oh, he's actually a really good guy, maybe we should trust him in some capacity. There's none of this. It's literally, oh, he's the hero, everybody likes him. Or what's Gene, everybody likes Gene.
Yeah,
no, be like, and everyone's be like, even his own parents in the beginning of your film be like, hey, we might want to lock you in the house, and people may forget. Well, the internet forgets, or a phone will never forget. So,
well, that elephant won't forget.
But it's just like, good night. They drop. They be like, you had such a good idea where you could have like led into this really, really good story beat. Like, heck, they could have done a better story beat with this idea that like maybe it's a 9-to-5 job for these guys. They'll be like, yeah, they're emojis, but they're just like regular characters. They just have to be this one character when they're in character. And to play it straight, like they're actually the character and they can't break from that character, and every other character breaks from character, every single one of them except for Gene, and everybody has to give him crap about everything. It's the stupidest thing on the planet. And then it's basically telling me like, oh, you have to be a certain way. It's like this world normally does, is but like you have to be like everybody else. You have to be cookie cutter to everybody else.
Yeah.
So in that, be like, they never do that resolve. Be like, hey, you can be your own personality. Like, God created you for a reason, and be like, you are formed and made in God's image. But in this mode, like, no, be like, you're just simply a creation. That's it. Be like, you're to do one function, except for Gene. He's supposed to do the one thing, and he's kind of a glitch.
Yeah,
he's kind of a glitch. So, and then they're just giving him heck over everything, but yet every other character who is supposed to be just like, oh, a poop emoji, he doesn't just do poop jokes. Be like, he's an actual person.
Except in this movie, he does nothing but poop jokes.
Yeah, he does poop jokes. That's it. And there's other characters who do other things that are not consistent with what they're supposed to be as an emoji, but they focus on Gene because he can do multiple emojis, and it just gets stupid. By the end of it, it's like, oh, perfectly fine, kumbaya, you can accept who you are, but there's no resolution to it. It's simply the story ends and everybody's happy.
Yeah,
it's stupid. That's my second like. What's your third?
My second, actually.
Yeah, your second.
It only feels right that my number 2 is the fact that Sir Patrick Stewart plays the poop emoji. Yes, I planned that for number 2. Patrick Stewart. I have enjoyed you I enjoyed watching you in many movies and many television shows over the course of the past 35, 37 years. I have seen you play a captain of a starship. I have seen you play the leader of a school for gifted youngsters. I have seen you in a bad version of Dune with long hair that makes me laugh. I have seen you play Shakespearean roles. I have seen you I've seen you make fun of yourself on episodes of American Dad that are supposed to be making fun of Americans. And you did a good job there too. You are an exceptional actor. Why did you debase yourself to play a poop emoji?
I guess he needed the money.
I guess.
Oh my gosh.
You are better than this. You know what? Let me fix that. Not just Patrick Stewart is better than playing a poop emoji. Every single person in this movie is better than the back characters in this movie.
Waste of talent.
Entire waste of talent. You wasted Sir Patrick Stewart on playing a piece of poo. Why? And not just, oh, this will be funny. We'll have this big Shakespearean actor play piece of poop. You know what? That is kind of funny. You know what would make me accept it more? If there was a member of Monty Python, that would at least make sense. Why wasn't Eric Idle playing this or John Cleese? But no, you put Patrick Stewart. He's better than this. And the thing is, it's not even that funny that you put him in this role. And the only fun, and like you said, the only thing they did with this is they had a red alert joke at one point in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell they had the part written out before they hired Patrick Stewart to play the role. I'm guessing that Patrick Stewart must have needed a paycheck to get him through a couple days while X-Men was being slow at getting Logan out. Would have been about the time that movie was being made. I guess, I don't know. Why did you do this? What's your third dislike?
My gosh. That was good. That was really, really good. My third dislike, if my pad will come up. There we go. All right. My third dislike. Candy Crush? Really? Candy Crush?
Well, I mean, it makes sense as a cell phone game that pretty much everyone's going to have on the
I
phone.
agree with you. But everything I hear, I'd be like, I'm not going nitpick. It was the only thing I think of was like, Candy Crush. Be like, it's a game. It's a popular game. I think it's still popular. I'm not sure. Relatively popular. And it's just like, it's like, I understand where you're going, but it's just like you could have made up an entirely new. I'd be like, I understand you're trying to, gear towards the audience and like, ooh, Candy Crush. And you'll be like, were they even sponsored by Candy Crush? Did they have a license from Candy Crush?
Okay, here's the thing. There is a film theory episode.
Yeah.
Where they talk about this movie. And apparently, because of the strange way product placement rules are, there is a small chance that the use of both Candy Crush Saga and Just Dance, because of how much they go into the explanation of how the games work for plot points, it might be illegal. It might break those rules, but yet no one's going to fight it because who gives a flying banana about this movie?
That is true. Yeah, I'd be like, I understand why they did it. Be like, it's a popular game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think,
you might ask, okay, if that's true for this, why does Wreck-It Ralph get away with it? Because they have characters from a ton of more video games than this movie does.
True.
You know what the difference is? They didn't explain how Sonic the Hedgehog worked.
True, they didn't.
They didn't explain how Street Fighter worked. You know what games they explained? They explained the Wreck-It Ralph game, which was originally made for the movie.
True.
They explained Sugar Rush. Well, they didn't actually explain it, but it's like you look at it and go, oh yeah, it's Mario Kart. But that was originally made for this. And they went into detail as to how Hero's Duty worked. An original game made for the movie.
Yeah.
They had to explain it because nobody would know. Those three are not advertisements for a product. You know what would have been if they'd have explained how Beer Tapper worked. Root Beer Tapper.
Yeah.
A place they went to all the time in the movie. They didn't explain how that game worked. They showed it for a hot second, but if you didn't know what you're looking at, you just see animations on the screen.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know what was going on. They didn't explain Pac-Man, even though they say, oh yeah, we got a cherry from Pac-Man, but they didn't explain what that big deal was.
Yeah.
They did not advertise. This movie is actively advertising not just those two video games.
Yeah.
It advertised Facebook. It advertised Dropbox. It advertised Spotify.
Twitter.
Well, kind of Twitter. YouTube. Instagram.
Yeah.
They actively advertise for all of these in a way that's not just simple product placement to show you something in a hurry as a bit of story bit lore.
Yeah.
They actively explored those spaces. That's why they may be illegal.
Well,
no one's ever going to sue them over this, but
well, I did do some little digging while you were talking. Apparently, King.com, which is the guys who created Candy Crush,
which are owned by Activision Blizzard, which may soon be owned by Microsoft.
Yes. So on July 26, 2017, they actually launched an emoji movie level.
Of course they did. It was a tie-in.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know that. So it's just like watching the movie. It's like, okay, I understand when you're doing advertisement, but it's just you could have done your own thing and did something really cool and made an app out of that and, made it fun or something like that. But when you're just going strictly after Wreck-It Ralph did it. Wreck-It did it. And Wreck-It Ralph, came out around the same time?
Before. Wreck-It Ralph was 2012, 2011.
That's right. It was.
I was still working at Walmart when Wreck-It Ralph came out.
Yeah,
I remember because we had Wreck-It Ralph play for 7 months on the TVs, and one day I came in there and found a pile of disc fragments with a note that said "Pick a different movie" from the overnight manager. I know when that came out, this movie had plenty of time to look at that formula and figure out how to do it correctly, and they didn't do it.
They didn't do it. They just simply they took the cash and hey, let's just do Candy Crush, do something simple instead of doing something like Wreck-It Ralph did or anything like
actually make a plot outside of we've got to reprogram Gene because he's a malfunction. I'm not a malfunction. I'm just a new type of emoji. That's not going to completely destroy everything.
Yeah, but either or. They are going, movies did this far better than simply be let's just do an advertisement in the middle of our film. I don't know, the more recent Power Rangers movie with donuts.
After 10,000 years, I'm free. Let's go to Krispy Kreme.
Oh my gosh, that was that instantly when I started thinking about it, it's oh crap, Power Rangers. I forgot. I didn't forget about it
this time.
It was. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Either or. That is my second. That is my third dislike. Is they could have done so much better. They were pulling from Wreck-It Ralph already. You could have made your own game and put it out for the world to see, and people would have been like, "Hey, this sounds like a fun game." Something like that. But no, you had to go safe. You had to just get the money from Candy Crush and make a segment of the movie which makes no sense plot wise. It's there.
It's he's stuck in the Candy Crush game. Well, we got to play Candy Crush to get him out. Yeah. Well, how do we do that? We've got to match 3 of these little different fruits. Well, what if the game doesn't see him as a fruit? Well, hopefully he'll get put into the special fruit jar over there.
Yeah,
I haven't played Candy Crush in forever. Is there still a special fruit jar?
I don't know. Not sponsored by Candy Crush.
Yeah, we are definitely not. We're not sponsored by anybody but the not fine people who give us money on Patreon. At patreon.com.
Thank you, Patreon. So
that's more money.
So that is my third dislike. What is your third dislike?
Every single character in this movie is annoying. Every single one. No, I take it back.
Okay.
The fish roll emoji was not annoying.
The fish roll emoji?
That was in the loser lounge?
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't annoying. Or she wasn't annoying. I don't know what gender the emoji was.
Yeah, it's an emoji.
I'm not going to assume it's gender.
It's an emoji.
It's an emoji. That one wasn't annoying.
Every
other one was. Now, I will say this.
Yes.
I did not I thought when we first met Jailbreak that she was a standard yellow-faced emoji that maybe was a darker version because you have the darker skin tone versions. Yeah. And I thought that's what she was going to be.
I thought it was more like grunge emoji.
Maybe, yeah. I could see that. So yeah, when I showed off this, she's actually the princess emoji, I thought, okay, that was actually pretty well handed.
Yeah.
That was a nice handoff because I didn't see it coming. She's annoying throughout the rest of the stinking film.
True.
She lies about, please. Oh, princess whistling, and that's going to cause birds to land. That's a stereotype. You should think better than that. Okay, if you see anybody else do this, I'm going to kill you. And the Twitter comes back. It's like, why? That was not even a funny joke.
There's not
None
funny
of the
jokes
in this film are funny.
They didn't work.
Which means every time a character says it, they become more annoying. Which means every 5 nanoseconds of this film, somebody is saying something annoying, which makes all the characters annoying. And that's going to kill something for me faster than anything else. If I don't like your characters, I ain't gonna like your film. And guess what? And that's the thing. At least every other movie for instance, we watched 100% Wolf last week.
Yeah.
I actually liked some of those characters.
Yeah.
They weren't great. Some of them were hackneyed, but it's like, okay, I at least have feelings for some of these characters that are not must kill as soon as possible. This film wanted me to hack into my phone and delete every emoji on it.
Calm down, brother. Calm down, brother.
I absolutely hate this film and all the characters in this, but the one character that takes the cake and is the worst, most annoying character in this film. You would think it would be Sir Patrick Stewart as the poop emoji, considering I gave him an entire dislike section.
Yeah.
It's not.
Who is it?
Because Patrick Stewart playing poop is mostly a disappointment.
Yeah.
In his capabilities. Smiler, on the other hand.
Oh my gosh. Worst villain ever. Okay,
first off, correct me if I'm wrong, but why is it every time they show her past self, she's got her head to the side? Is it going back to the old emoticon smiley?
Yeah.
That's that what it's referencing? Because once they actually made the actual smiley face character, I never saw it on its side. It was always straight up and down, unless, it's like the laughing one where it's kind of cocked to one side or something, or it's upside down because it's so crazy. And I'm so happy. I feel like I'm upside down, I guess is what that emoji is supposed to mean. By the way, have I mentioned I don't understand emojis in general when it comes to typing? I kind of accept them when they give me because I understand people because they are cute. They do at least represent something, but you give me a string of emojis, I'm going, I have no idea what you're talking about because I don't speak emoji. But Smiler is an annoying character. Now, you're supposed to hate your villains.
Yes.
Ideally, you love to hate your villains.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just hate them because, they're villainous, they're the antagonist, they don't deserve love. So yeah, I hate them because they're going against our protagonist. This is a character I hate to hate. Because she's annoying. She's not funny. She is not even a good villain. She's just nuts.
Agreed.
And not nuts in a good way. She's just nuts because she's nuts. There's no backstory. She has no backstory. Her backstory is, I was the first emoji, so you should love me.
That's it.
Emojis should only be one thing. Well, shut up.
Yeah.
Because you're not just a happy emoji. You're the insane emoji.
Yeah. They're like,
you are the one who deserves to be thrown into the firewall. I hate Smiler. She's not a good villain.
Yeah.
She's not even a well-made character. And it makes sense that she's the leader of the emojis in this film, because why wouldn't the followers of an annoying character also be annoying? They're all annoying. Gene, bless his heart, is probably the least annoying character in this film, only because more thought was put into his character than the rest of them.
Agreed.
This movie sucks, but not in a fun way.
Agreed. Completely agreed.
And that's the end of my third dislike.
All right. So what is your score of this film?
2.
2. Okay.
There's a little bit of bright spots in there, like I mentioned, but ultimately this is a garbage film.
Agreed.
And it's not a garbage film I can look at and go and make fun of.
Yeah.
I have a rule when it comes to bad films.
Okay.
I'm going to bring this up a lot. If you can't be a good movie, be interesting. Because the worst thing a movie can be is dull.
Yeah, agreed.
And in many ways, when you add up all the annoyingness of the characters, all the misused cast, and the bad writing, and everything else we've talked about, this is a dull movie because it doesn't even do anything interesting.
True.
It adds nothing to the genre of the cameo-laden things come to life genre that has popped up in animated movies since Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
It does nothing to push animation forward. Hey, how can it? All the characters are simple polygonal characters. The Christina Aguilera thing is the only thing that's got actually decent model work put into it.
Agreed.
The whole movie is just there, and I'm glad I will never have to watch this film again. What are you rating it?
I'm rating it a 3 point. A bit like I'll give it more. It'd be like a 3.5. Give it a 3.5. Be like the only saving grace this movie has. It has good animation.
Yeah,
it has good animation. For
it would have no excuse to do bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything considered.
Yeah, everything about the film is utter, trash, and be like when the phone got deleted, everything should have been deleted. Period.
I would have preferred that ending.
Yes,
it's like they're gone. We're free. We can leave.
Yeah, like an Avril Lavigne song says, "Be like so much for my happy ending." But a 3.
And have that be the song we leave on.
There we go.
Followed by, "Isn't it ironic?"
Yes, but yeah, just be like the only saving grace this movie does have. Be like, I'm kind of torn between a 3.5 and a 4 in this film because the animation is very well done. I'm going to give them credit on that. So to give it I'm going to give it a 4 just to balance that out. Giving it a 3.5 is like it's like you get good animation in this film, but you have a terrible story, terrible characters, terrible plot points, and it's just a terrible movie. But the animation is good, so I can't rate it lower than a 4.
You gave it 4.
I gave it a 4. Animation. It's got good animation.
It's got good animation because they had no excuse to give it bad animation.
I agree with you.
All these character models are, on one hand, a lot of the character models are spheres, and the other character models are so simplified that you can't animate them bad, short of having them weirdly morph from one thing to another.
Yeah, agreed.
And sort of having them, just as long as you have them move in a semi-realistic way,
yeah,
you can't do this bad. This is Walmart commercial grade CG animation in terms of model work.
Okay.
That with tons of money put into it,
mm-hmm.
which is why it looks good. You have no excuse to make bad. That's the reason the animation's good.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're giving it a 4, that's your business.
Yeah, they're again torn between 3.4, 3.5, and a 4. So be like the only grace I'm gonna give this film anything is it's got good animation. You got good points on that. Be like, but I'll be like, I'm torn between a 3.5 and a 4. That's it. Still means I don't like this movie. This movie is stupid.
And it's not even stupid in a fun way.
No, it's not. It's a bland, boring film.
But we are now past our first movie of Bad Movie Month.
Praise the Lord.
Next week, we are reviewing Food Fight.
Fun.
Another film from the fairly new genre of inanimate objects come to life with tons of cameo appearances. but it's bad in a different way.
Agreed.
We will get to that. We'll get there when we get there.
Yes. Let's get into something
in the
a little
meantime,
better.
let's have some fun. It's time for Cassandra's revenge on Rapunzel's Tangled adventure.
TAS.
And the masters of the universe.
Cats are on the move. Cats are loose. Cocktails, woo. Dog wings up.
Let's get dangerous.
Jacob, do you know where we are at?
Where?
We are at the season 3 2-part episode where we've left the filler and are moving back into story.
Yes.
We are within the end of the tunnel of Rapunzel's Tangled adventure. And I will admit, I will be sad to see this go.
Yeah.
When the time comes, because this story has actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
But today we are on a very important episode, from what I can tell, Cassandra's Revenge, a 2-parter.
Uh-huh.
We were reviewing both parts today. And it was originally aired as a special, 1-hour special. It was directed by Tom Caulfield and Shane Zalvin, and written by Ricky Roxburgh. Guest cast includes Clancy Brown as King Frederick, Julie Bowen as Queen Ariana, Jeremy Jordan as Varian, Bruce Campbell as King Edmund, Jennifer Veal as Enchanted Girl, Vivian Vincer as Kiera, Ruby J as Catalina, Suzanne Blakesley as Old Lady Crowley, and Peter Peter McNicol as Nigel. Getting into the summary. When Rapunzel feels ready to settle down and begin living a normal life, Cassandra returns to Corona with a score to settle.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Getting into the trivia for this one. There's a running gag in this episode as Rapunzel's boyfriend Eugene talks about his age throughout the special 1 hour of season 3 and this series respectively. He's apparently 26.
Not 25.
Or 24 as he thought he was.
Yeah. Well, he thought he was 25.
Yes. Now,
Oh, no. He thought he was 24. He thought he was turning 25.
25 today, but in fact, he's actually 26. And that makes him worry that he's aging too fast.
Yeah.
Which I will admit, that one part where they're at Varian's, and he's like, hey, do you have any special oils or any alchemical things that make me look younger? And he does that one, and it makes him look like an old man. It's like, hey, that's funny.
That was funny.
It is also revealed in this episode that no one but Cassandra can see or hear Enchanted Girl. Varian was only able to see and hear her when she entered his dreams. But that's all I got for trivia. You actually have some notes on this one, don't you?
Yes, I do.
What are your notes on this? On this special edition of Jacob's Notes.
Special notes. So let me get back to my notes real fast.
Back to the notes.
So, like, yeah, this is a really, really good episode. Like you said, it's getting away from the filler, getting into, fleshing out the story, filling out what's going on, and getting, coming to our resolution of what's really happening in our story. I love it to be like, we get Eugene's actual birthday.
Yes,
we get that, and then it's rudely interrupted by a now very evil Cassandra,
which reminded me of the beginning of Sleeping Beauty.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I guess my invitation's lost in the mail.
Oh, dude.
Like, well, I'm certainly glad Merriweather's not here to tell you, well, you weren't invited.
Well, Eugene kind of said that, but he didn't say it.
Yes, because Eugene at this point has gotten smarter.
Yeah, agreed.
He's gained wisdom in his old age.
Agreed. But dude, the fact to be like you had this small progression of Cassandra becoming evil and listening to the little fairy girl or the blue girl, as I call her,
the enchanted girl.
the enchanted girl. Let's go by the correct word, the enchanted girl.
That is how she is credited.
Yeah,
Still, I'm
but
still going. I know who this is. There's only one person this could be.
we'll find out in the next 2 episodes.
It's in the next 2 episodes. They finally reveal this.
Yes, they finally reveal it.
I know who it is.
Yeah.
There's only one person it could be.
So be like, we
starts with a Z and ends with an Erie.
Oh my gosh. So we get that. We get the fact that Cassandra has become so obsessed with her destiny that be like everything, be like Rapunzel is taking everything from her and she's out for revenge. Hence the title of the episode.
Yes.
And it's just very, oh my gosh. Be like you get the point where be like they get down to oh crap, what's the inventor, not the inventor, but the guy who sealed a certain somebody away years and years ago.
He was in Vigor the Visionary.
Yes.
Crap. Tantalus or something like that.
Yeah. Demantius.
Demanicus.
Yeah, they get down to Demanicus's lab, which is now Variant's lab. It's just like, was his lab until Cassandra destroyed it. But it's like, oh my gosh. Be like, this is a girl that went from season one who is just trying to do her job, trying to babysit this princess, to, being a part of the party, betraying her friends. And then it's just like you get in this scene where, like, in the party, it's just like the first thing caught to my mind was like, oh crap, she's become her mother. Yeah, literally. Like the vindictiveness and like the vile of everything. It's like, oh really? It's like, oh crap. The actor who's playing is playing it to a hilt, and be like, well, she did play Elphaba and Wicked at one point, but man, it's so good, so good. And then it's just like and we're at the point where Cassandra needs to make her fortress. Be like, she takes the destroyed tower, makes her own tower out of it. Yeah, that was like, oh, that's ironic. That was so good. Really? And then she gets her the other incantation.
Yes, we get 2 incantations in this.
Yes, we do. And it's so good. Me like Crescent.
Rapunzel goes Super Saiyan.
She does. And if you go that way, be like Cassandra goes Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan Blue. But be like, you get the Crescent High above, which is like when I first saw it, I was like, oh crap, this is not good. Like, she got another power. So then we get into episode 2, which be like, this first episode is very well done. They have literally be like, Cassandra has turned like literally turned to the dark side.
Yes.
And it's so well done, and it's so well done because we have throughout season 3 we have this more hesitation. She has fear, and these episodes, nope, she is full on bore villain, and I freaking love it.
Indeed. Which still means that I am looking forward to the redemption I'm assuming is going to happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen,
because I cannot see this character just being, oh yeah, I'm the villain now. You liked me. We're going to go full tragedy on this. It's like, okay, this is still a kid's show. Zip. Yes. Zip.
Yes.
Zip that lip.
Got it.
It's like, this is still a kid's show. So there has to be, she's going to go full on villain, but she's going to have that last minute heart reawakening and coming back to the side of good. Yeah. It has to happen. It's just how this. Well, admittedly, I've seen a screenshot, but so I kind of know it has to happen at some point,
right?
But especially when she realizes who Enchanted Girl really is and what her goals really are, and how she probably really betrayed her mother too. I'm guessing. I don't know, But
we'll get there when
we'll get there. But yeah, this is a great, fun episode.
Yes, it is. This second episode is far better. Oh my gosh.
And
so
thankfully, at the mid credit, at the end of the first, we don't go into the super happy end song.
No. Which was thankful.
Like, thank you. You've listened to me 3 years ago.
All right, so going into this episode 14, I think.
I gave up on the numbers.
Yeah,
it's a 2-parter episode. It's part 1, part 2, and it's fun. It's great.
It is so good. I completely agreed. This is episode 13 and 14. So we get into this episode, which is freaking fantastic. So we get Variant has been kidnapped from the previous episode, by Cassandra, because one, she needed the scroll, she needed the mannequin scroll, and then she needed the translator, which was Variant.
Yes.
So then you get one of my favorite songs.
Well, it's like, the scroll is not
going back,
it's worthless without the translation.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And now that I've destroyed the key, the only one who can translate it is me. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Why did I with my big mouth?
So I need you now. Okay.
It's like, come here, little man.
You're coming with me.
Oh my gosh.
With me if you want to live.
Literally. But like, one of my favorite songs comes up is between Nothing Else to Lose, between Cass and Variant.
Nothing Left to Lose.
Yeah, Nothing Left to Lose. So it's just this idea, because obviously Variant was a villain of season 1.
Right.
He had his redemption arc in season 3, and now you have Cassandra.
Redemption arc, but yes.
Yeah, very quick redemption arc. But it's so well done. It's this idea that like he knows what she's going through, and it's literally Cass is blind to her own vengeance. She's blind to everything, and that entire song, you get this brief little moments where she's singing, and it's animated very well, where it's like, was like, now I have nothing left to lose.
Yes.
It's like, you can tell, be like, she's having doubts. She's having doubts. She's like, be like, I'm taking away everything Rapunzel took from me, but she knows, it's tearing her apart to do this.
Yeah.
So there's points throughout this entire episode where it's I don't want to do this, but if you don't give me this or let me do this, I don't have no choice. So it's this person who is conflicted and so torn.
But what's interesting, is she approached this like her mother would.
Yeah, she does.
Because at any point, Cassandra could have quoted her mother and says, "Oh, look, I'm the bad guy now."
Oh, yeah. Nope. Nope. Not saying a word. Not saying a word.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways,
I recognize there's going to have to be a fight between Rapunzel and Cassandra before this is over.
Yeah.
Where they're going to have to come to blows and nearly kill each other.
Yeah. Kind of.
It's the shonen anime way.
Yes.
This show is taking a lot of cues from.
Yes. So we get Cass captures Barry in a hand prison.
Yes.
And then Blue Girl or whatever is Enchanted Girl visits Variant in his dreams to figure out how to get this fourth incantation, and it's just like
the sun will reveal it. It's like, what the crap does that mean?
Yeah. So we get this whole thing,
it's invisible ink on the back of the thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a line that when Lance said it to Max, I was like, it's like, okay.
We must go down to go up.
No. It was I don't care what you smell. That line from Han Solo.
Yes.
Chewbacca.
I don't care what you smell.
But that was I heard that, I was like, they just quoted Star Wars. That's awesome.
Oh, look, what a new smell you've discovered. But still, the whole part where they're trying to get up there and Angry says, We're missing all the action.
Quite literally, you are.
Yes.
And then it's the fact to be like, Enchanted Girl says, be like, let them in,
Yes.
finish them off. And it's just like, oh, okay, you're planning something, you little, be like, Enchanted Girl.
Yeah.
Enchanted Girl. But it's just more, and then you get, be like, huh?
Z,
exactly. But it'd be like you get this entire like great setup where it's like Rapunzel would be like, I'm not gonna fight you, I can't do this. Be like, you're my best friend, I can't do this. And it's basically you see where Cassandra has gone in her thoughts and her anger. It's just be like, okay, and then I'll just threaten people you love. Be like, you're gonna give me what I want. Be like, oh, I really don't want to do this, which is there again, it's her conflict. And then it's just more like, oh, the fourth enchantment. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like throws the enchantment. And then it's, oh, I completely forgot about the Rapunzel wanted to propose to Eugene.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
a good point.
That was a good point.
Okay. So yeah, they're both ready for it now.
They're both ready for it.
We just now have to wait for the 3D movie.
Yeah.
Short.
The 3D movie
where
short.
it's going to happen.
Yes. So we'll be like, then we get Rapunzel's fourth or third or fourth enchantment.
It's the fourth
spell from the
fourth spell. She's got three.
Yeah.
And Cassandra assumingly has two. Because she technically should be able to use. That's right, because Rapunzel can't use the decay spell right now because she doesn't have the Black Rocks, because that's with Cassandra, right?
No, she can still do it.
Okay. Well, then I don't understand why if they know any of the four of them know the enchantment, why they can't any of them just do it. But anyway,
I think it's just more it's set towards the certain characters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
from that point of view, I'm talking about technically.
Yeah, and then obviously Rapunzel goes Super Saiyan 3, I guess.
Yes. Well, her hair doesn't grow, so it's really only Super Saiyan 2, maybe?
Yeah, Super Saiyan 2. But she's not bulky or anything. But anyways, dude, I mean, like, it's such an amazing fight. And then you get Enchanted Girl where they're in the background and her shadow changes for a fraction of a second.
I'm like, that fraction, I'll be honest.
My gosh.
But let's face it, I know who the frick it is.
Oh, yeah. Go back and watch it. In that scene, you'll see it. And it's just like, oh crap! It is who I think it is.
Is that why she's rising into the?
No. It's before that.
Thing? Okay.
It's when both powers are colliding.
Yeah,
and it's literally she's doing this number, and the lights are flashing over, and for like one single frame through, be like her silhouette changes.
Okay,
to a certain but it's like
Z.
Z.
So we're calling it right now Z.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, this idea that like we get this and then we get I said let him go. And it's just a big power burst from the new incantation, the Rapunzel. And I'm like, I am freaking blown away. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're getting an actual power to power fight. Yeah. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is freaking amazing. Absolutely freaking amazing. And they seemingly win this fight a little bit. And Cassandra's moonstone is cracked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's gonna play an important part later.
Oh, I bet it does. It would have shown it if it didn't.
Exactly. So yeah, we get this amazing episode, and then we are fastly approaching the end of season 3.
Yeah.
And this gets good.
Oh,
like this has already been extremely good story writing, and it only gets better from here.
Okay. I'm looking forward to the next one where we go to the Spire.
Yeah, Spire.
But anyway, join us next time for that one. You got anything to add before we end this episode?
Nope.
All right. Well, join us next time for Food Fight, along with more Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, and we will this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
You can follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day. his Instagram at Jacob B. Heron, his Twitter at Jacob Heron, and his Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen, his Facebook page Drew's Photobin to see his photography, his Letterboxd page at ggeorge759, his Twitter at ggeorge759, and Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast, on Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming, on YouTube at Cellcast, on Twitter at cast_cell. The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us, and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell, with a single L.
My dear Princess Rapunzel, are you aware of the ancient Siporian proverb that states that revenge is a dish best served cold? It is very cold in the spire.